Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're all well and having a really great day so far. If you're new here, I'm Emma. Welcome, it's lovely to have you here. And on this channel, I talk about books and more books. There can be anything from TBR videos to monthly reading wrap-ups, book recommendations, and I've got some good reading blogs planned as well. So all of that good stuff. But today we're going to be talking about my June TBR. I'm going to be picking from my TBR jar some numbers, and I've got some books wrapped up behind me, so choosing them at random. I am going to be choosing about 10 books today. But last month I did really well. I did manage to read all 10 of the books, and I'll pop them up on the screen now for you just to refresh your memory. So if you want to hear me talk about these books in more detail, I will have a May reading wrap-up video coming soon. So there'll be my TBR picks and also any other books that I've read in May. I will be talking about on that video. But for today, we're just going to be choosing 10 more books to be reading in June. I do have a few that I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, I pull out. I cannot wait to read Phantasma, The Book of Azrael, and I do want to get to Powerless at some point because I've now got all of the books in that series. So I'm really hoping that I do pull at least one, if not all three of those books out today. But without further ado, grab yourself a drink, get yourself comfy, and let's start picking the books that I'm going to be reading in June. Now, I'm not sure if that's number 6 or number 9. It's probably a 6, so that's what I'm going to go with. Now, the first few books on my TBR card, I think quite a few of these are older books from my bookshelf that I'm hoping to get read, just because I didn't want to unhaul them. So I think it's probably going to be a book that I've had for quite a while. Yes, so this is Finley Donovan is Killing It, and I think this book was really popular on booktube and BookTok a few years ago, probably around 2021, 2022, and that's what influenced me to buy this book. I don't know much about it, so I am going to go into it blind, but I think since then there's another few books in this series. They're probably independent standalones, but definitely something that's continued. So I hope that it's as good as everybody says it was at that time, and excited to read it. Oh, I've picked 2, so I'll read the first one out first. And that is number 15, which is this one. Oh, so this one, it does feel quite a lot bigger than the first one. So it does look like it's going to be a much longer book. And I don't know what any of these are, by the way. And these are still wrapped from last month's video because I didn't want to waste the paper. So I've got absolutely no idea what's in any of these. Oh. So book 2 is Grown Ups by Marianne Keats, and I've not actually read any of her books before. I know that she's a very popular author. I seem to remember quite a few years ago now, probably 10, 15 years ago, she had a couple of books. I think it was Sushi for Beginners, and I can't remember the other title. I think it was something about watermelon. But I know that she is a very popular author, so it will be really nice to read something of hers, and hopefully if I enjoy it, then that opens up a whole new list of books that I can then read, because I can, you know, read all of the books that she's previously written. I think I do have this one on Audible as well, because I downloaded that one with the intention of listening to the audiobook while I was reading this. So that's something that I can definitely do this month. Don't know too much about this, so let's have a quick read on the back. So it says, meet Jessie, Cara and Nell. Married to brothers Johnny, Ed and Liam Casey. 3 very different women tied to 3 very different men. Every family occasion is a party until the day the secrets spill out. Playtime is over, but where are the grown-ups? So actually that does sound quite intriguing, and I'm really looking forward to finding out more about this. So yeah, bit different to what I would normally read, but happy to have it on my TBR list this month. And the other one that I've pulled out, because this one came out together with the grown-ups, is number 10. So again, probably one of the older books from my bookshelf. Okay, so this is a Lisa Jewell book, so we've now got a thriller this time, so great to mix it up a little bit. This one's called None of This Is True. So again, this is a book that I have had for a while. I think I picked this up a couple of summers ago when I went on holiday in the UK, and I think that I picked it up from WH Smith's when we stopped at a motorway service station, but I just haven't reached for it. I don't know why, if I'm honest with you. I have read one other book from Lisa Jewell, and I think it was called The Family Upstairs, and that book was really, really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So I know that Lisa Jewell's got a few books out now, so again, happy to revisit this author, and I think it's going to be a nice break from a lot of the romance and fantasy books that I normally read. "26. And this is another one that does feel like quite a chunky one. So looks like I'm going to be doing a lot of reading. Oh, I'm so happy, so happy. This is one that I was praying, I had all my fingers and toes crossed. I really wanted to pull this out this month. I do have books 2 and 3 on my bookshelf, and I was just waiting to pull this out because I really want to get into the Gods and Monsters series. I've heard nothing but good things on Book Talk, BookTube, lots of people talking about this series, and I think book 4 is coming out later this year, so this is certainly one that I really wanted to read, and I'm so excited. I don't know much about this book other than the main female character is a bit morally grey, and that very much intrigued me to want to read this series, because in a lot of series that I read, it's normally the male character that is morally grey, and I'm very interested to know how a female morally grey character is going to be portrayed. So cannot wait to get stuck into this book, and I'm sure that I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it. Oh, I'm just so happy, so happy that I pulled this one out. Then we have 21. Oh, this one is a bit thinner, thank goodness, because I was getting a bit worried with all these chunky books this month. Because I have got a few others that I'm going to be reading in June, which I'll tell you about later. Okay, so this is The Starlight Heir. Again, I don't know much about this book. I think I explained in my book haul when I purchased this that I very much did it for the cover. That's what sucked me in, this beautiful iridescent cover here. Don't know much about it. I think it is a fairly new release. It may have come out back end of last year or earlier this year, but thankfully it doesn't seem to be too long. There's about 350 pages or so, so not too bad. Hopefully that's one I can get read in a day or two, and then obviously can get into the longer books that I've picked for this month. So that's 5. I'm going to choose another 5 because I like to have about 10. I don't know whether I'm going to get them all read this month, but even if I don't, it gives me a couple of options for some mood reading. So next one is number 3, and again this is probably going to be, oh, I think I know what this one, do I know what this one is? Probably going to be one that's been on my bookcase for a while. It feels like a hardback, it's fairly chunky, and the only one that springs to mind is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. That's the only one that I can think of that I've got sort of a smaller hardback for. Yes, that's what it is. So this author's really popular, and again this book blew up a couple of years ago on the internet, and that is 100% what made me buy it. No idea why I haven't picked it up before now, but I'm glad that you know, this is why I do these videos, because I'm glad it's going to push me into picking it up and reading it, because I'm sure this is a fantastic story that I'm probably just missing out on while it's sitting on my shelf. Really nice edition of it as well. So it is a hardback, but it's sort of the size of a paperback, which is nice. It's going to be a bit easier for me to hold. But again, this does look like a fairly chunky book. So how many pages are in here? So there's about like 550 pages or so. From what I know about this one, a girl is sort of cursed, so when she is like living her life, nobody around her has any memory of her whatsoever, and maybe that might have been good to start off with, but I imagine that over time this has become a bit of a curse, and something that is actually quite a negative thing in her life. But other than that, I don't know anything, so you know, I'm going to be saying that a lot. I don't like to know too much about books before I go into it, because I like to experience things for the first time. I like to be surprised by the plot twists, and you know, that's why I don't read into the synopsis too much or research them beforehand. But yeah, looking forward to this one as well. I think it's going to be a nice change, and actually I've got a good mix of books so far. Bit of fantasy, bit of romance, thrillers. So yeah, well, I'm assuming grown-ups is a romance. It's probably not actually. So maybe we might pick a few more romances later. But yeah, nice mix so far, and I'm just really in a reading mood right now. I haven't been able to stop reading. I read 25 books in April. I'm probably on course for reading 25 to 30 books in May, and I'm just loving life really. I'm just enjoying my reading so much right now, so yeah, another good one to add to the pile. And we've got 47, so I think that one is at the back. Yes, it is, and this is a hardback book, so I'm not really sure, don't have any idea what this one could be. Now, I've been really wanting to read this book. I'm so happy that I pulled it out. I do have the second book in this duet. It's called The Rebel Witch. That's also on my shelf. But I'm so happy to have pulled out The Crimson Moth. Since I read One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns this month, I've been really craving reading that sort of darker gothic fantasy. And this one, I believe, is about a witch, and there is a love interest with a witch hunter. Don't know too much about it other than that, but I know that it comes very highly recommended. A lot of people have really enjoyed this, and I'm also glad that it's a duet, because if I read it in the month and I really enjoy it, I'm sure I can get the Rebel Witch read either in June as well, or maybe in July. But I don't want to have you know, loads and loads of different series that I'm part way through the middle of. I do like to start a series and get it finished. So having a duet is really nice, because it gets maybe a bit more in depth than a standalone book, but you haven't got the commitment of reading a full 5 or 6 book series. Cannot wait for this one. I'm so looking forward to it. So, oh, it's upside down. Then we've got 45, so another book which I think is on the back of a card. Yeah. So again, another hardback book. No clue what this is, absolutely could not tell you. Yeah! I'm so happy. You know, even if I don't get my third book, which was Phantasma, I think to pull out 2 of the 3 that I was, you know, really wanting to pick this month is really great. And this, of course, is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. So this is a reread for me. I read it the first time when it came out, which is probably a couple of years ago now, but I didn't pick up any of the books since. So I've now got Reckless, Fearless, and I think there's a novella called Powerful, but I didn't want to read those books without rereading this one first, because I was sure there was going to be important information that I would have forgotten. So gonna read this just to refresh my memory. I think I rated it pretty highly at the time, so I know that I enjoyed it, and I'm sure that I'll enjoy it again when I pick it up this month. So 2 more left to pick. And we've got 23. Oh, thank goodness, this one is a skinnier one. And this one's a paperback. I'll show you guys first. Okay, so After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing. I've read quite a lot of her books. There's not many that I haven't read, if I'm honest, but this is one of them. I believe this is about a married couple, and for whatever reason they decide to separate for a year to essentially discover whether they want to stay married or whether they want to part ways permanently. But there is an agreement that during this 1 year period they're not allowed to contact each other. I'm very much looking forward to reading this, and there's always something quite intriguing or thought-provoking or a twist in Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing, and I'm sure this will be no exception. I'm absolutely buzzing about what we've pulled out this month. I'm really excited to start reading. And the very last one is 31. This one also doesn't feel like it's going to be too long, thank God. So again, another paperback. And it looks like I did get my romance wish. So the last book on the TBR, from the TBR jar, is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, and I've not read anything by this author before. This is a brand new author to me. Love the copy of this book. It's from The Works. It's got these beautiful sprayed edges. Again, I don't know too much about this book other than the male character works on a radio show and the female main character calls into that show. So it's giving me off the bat like Sleepless in Seattle vibes. I don't know whether that is accurate or not. As I said, I've not read too much about it, but any type of romance where there's a radio show involved, I'm automatically going to think Sleepless in Seattle. But very much looking forward to this. I like that it's a one and done standalone book as well. As I said, I don't want to start, 6 different series. I like to enjoy the series, have it fresh in my mind when I'm reading. So a one and done romance is perfect and a great palette cleanser from some of the fantasy books and some of the thrillers that I'm going to be reading this month. There's also a couple of new releases that I want to read in June, which I'm really excited about. So the first being Releasing 10. Now this book comes out on the 27th of May, but because I haven't read any of the other Boys of Tommen books before, I do have to read all of those first. So I'm hoping to get Binding 13 and Keeping 13 read in the last week of May. I've set aside a whole week to get these read, and as you can see, these are really chunky. So hopefully these will be part of my May reading wrap up if all goes to plan. But what that does mean is that during June I also need to read the other 3 books in the series. So there is Saving 6, Redeeming 6 and Taming 7. These need to be read before I start Releasing 10. So pretty ambitious reading month this month, but I am up for the challenge. There are also a couple of romance new releases that I am hoping to get to in June. Some of these are released right at the end of May. I don't think I'm going to have time to read them in May because, as I said, I'm committing myself to reading Binding 13 and Keeping 13 in that last week. But I am hoping to fit them in at some point in June. They are It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan. Not read anything by this author before, but people are raving about her, and there's a lot of excitement around this book, so I thought that I'd give it a try. There is also Ashley Poston's new book, Sounds Like Love, is due to be released. I think it's around the middle of June, and I have also pre-ordered that one. Ashley Poston was a fairly new author to me. I've only read The 7 Year Slip, which I read in May, and absolutely adore that book. I think I rated it 4.5 stars. From what I know, her books don't tend to be too long, probably around the sort of 350 page mark. So if that comes out, I for sure want to read that as well. So yes, very ambitious reading month for June, and if there's any time left, and I mean any time at all, I also want to start to reread From Blood and Ash and the Flesh and Fire series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. There is a new book coming out later this year, I think in September, and it's one of my most highly anticipated reads of this year. I absolutely adored both of those series, so rather than jumping straight in and getting the new book read, I want to reread From Blood and Ash from the start, reread Flesh and Fire. I think there is a recommended reading order actually where you sort of mix the 2 series together. So I think it's like the first 3 books of From Blood and Ash, then the first book of Flesh and Fire. So I didn't read it in that order previously. I read Blood and Ash as a standalone series, Flesh and Fire as a standalone series, but I don't want to miss any little detail, and I want to really savour this series and thoroughly enjoy it when the new one is released. So I am hoping to get those 10 books read over the next 3 or 4 months if I can. But yeah, let's recap on the books that I've pulled out of my TBR jar this month. So we've got First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, Powerless by Lauren Roberts, The Crimson Moth, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, The Starlight Heir, The Book of Asriel, which cannot wait, None of This Is True, Grown Ups, And finally, Finley Donovan is killing it. And this is my TBR stack. So, just about got it to balance. But yeah, can't wait to get stuck into these and start reading. As I said, I'm in such a reading mood at the moment, just enjoying it so much, from fantasy books, romance books, thrillers, historical fiction. I'm reading all of it. Let me know in the comments if you've already read some of these and maybe what your thoughts were. No spoilers please though. And also let me know what you've chosen to read in June on your TBR list. But I really hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, please let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos from me, hit the subscribe button because I would love to have you back. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I'll see you on my next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.